welcome to the Pick Your Brain podcast with Demented Minds of the TLEV YouTube channel. My name is Thomas.
My name is Mr. E. I'm Josue.
And today, here at Scare LA, we've got Scott and Daymian, Halloween Horror Nights scare actors from 2017. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And we're here to talk about what exactly is the experience of a Halloween Horror Nights scare actor. So first things first. What is the audition process?
The audition process. I'm going to answer this one.
From what we can tell you,
Of course.
it's a lot of energy is definitely needed.
Okay.
You're going to be put outside of your comfort zone. It's not any sort of normal activity you would do, I could say. Yeah, you just need to be ready to be out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
All I got to say is, when you do go, stuff's going to happen that's just going to have you thinking like, what? But then that's where they test you in a way.
Uh-huh.
They just want to make sure that you just have what it takes to become those amazing monsters that they put out there on Horror Nights. So if any of you have any or want to audition, do it. And when you do it, go all out. Just get out of that comfort zone and just have fun. That's all we got to say about that.
Okay. Any other questions right here? Okay. Well, why don't you guys tell us what you were last year? What maze or scare zone were you guys in last year?
Last year we were in the tunnel scare zone.
Okay. And how was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say.
it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you think? Well, why did it exceed your expectations? What was it that made more fun than what you had previously thought?
Okay, before when I used to go to Horror Nights as a guest, I would go to the tunnel and I would be like, these strobe lights are just so annoying. But then I got put in it, and I gotta say, you really, one, you get really used to it, and two, it's just amazing atmosphere and environment to just scare in. So the experience overall for me personally was just surreal. Honestly, it was way better than I expected it to, because when I first, they're like, oh, you're gonna be in tunnel, I'm just like, But then, yeah, it was a great outcome, in my opinion.
That's great. How about you, Scott?
I agree as well. When I saw that I was placed in the tunnel, I was pretty bummed, to be honest with you. But as soon as I went to the first rehearsal, we walked out of there closer friends than I've ever had. Honestly, we're all huge fans of Horror Nights, obviously. That's why we do it. So the bond that you create with your fellow scarers is surreal, like he said. I've never thought I would walk out of there with the close friends that I have.
That's awesome. So are there any scare actor legends? Are there any colleagues of yours that are legendary because they did something or they scared someone so bad that it's become infamous in the park?
Just for confidential reasons, we're not going to say the name of the person or where he's at. But there is one or two specific scare actors that are veterans. They've been there for a very long period of time, and we've heard some pretty crazy stuff that they do. They just go all out. They're the kind of guys that give you nightmares.
Or
They're
girls.
the guys that make people squeal and just fall to the floor in fetus position and just cry. We've seen it ourselves. It is just, we've heard a lot of other things too, but yeah, these two guys are the type of guys that when you see them, you're just like, oh, watch out, everyone make room. Here they come.
What would the schedule be like usually? When you get there?
Well, I mean, the park obviously opens at 7 and closes at 2, but that's absolutely not the schedule for a scare actor. We have to show their hours earlier and usually leave an hour and a half after the park closes. So having that 4 nights a week is definitely brutal for your sleep schedule or any other sort of schedule that you're going to have.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a big commitment to make, but the commitment is worth it.
So as scare actors for Toxic Tunnel, did you have to go through the makeup process as much as someone who was just in full makeup, or is it because of the masks and the suit that it wasn't as bad as some of the other people?
No. What we can say is that there are obviously other mazes where much more makeup is required,
Okay.
and for those specific people, they have to go through much more of a process.
Okay.
Unlike us, where it was just the costume and all that stuff.
Sure.
So there are more scare actors that go through a much longer process.
Okay.
So what was I saying?
That's it. Okay. But what? Okay. Well, then why don't you tell us what the makeup was for you guys? Like, I'm sure eye stuff, right?
There was literally.
The eye black was all we had to use.
Yeah.
And then
So that was a good thing on our part,
Uh-huh.
because it's not much, prosthetics, all that stuff. We didn't have to use. I mean, you guys see it in the tunnel. It's really just like a mask, and it's just a jumpsuit.
Right.
So it's pretty much just really easy. All we gotta do is just the eye stuff and stuff like that. So it's not really much actually.
Okay.
Compared to the other ones, because there are other ones, even at other haunts, it's just like they go through a lot, and it's just it could be.
How long does it usually take for you guys to get everything on, and how long did it usually take?
Honestly, our costume was one piece, so it didn't take
This is
long.
one piece.
Yeah, we
Maybe
just
like-
stepped into it like a onesie, and then our mask was kind of tight, so we had to squeeze that on for a minute or two, but that was pretty much it.
Okay.
A couple minutes.
And so with the Scare Academy, since we all know that there is the Scare Academy, particularly for Toxic Tunnel, did you get to practice with the full body suit, or was it like the first, preview night, that was the first time you put on your full body suit?
We didn't put on our costume until preview night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you find different from when you were rehearsing to when you were actually in the suit? Was it easier? Was it harder?
You want to stop?
I feel like it's a lot easier to scare with your costume on. You just feel more like the monster.
Okay.
You can't take yourself seriously, let alone anyone else seriously, when you're screaming in their face without a mask on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost embarrassing, but that also creates the bond, because when we're rehearsing, we're scaring fellow zone actors.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It definitely creates the bond and helps laugh each other off and break the ice a little bit.
Was there any time that you guys scared each other too bad, that individually to each other, or?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, we're mostly just laughing in each other's faces, during scaring. But the only thing I can think of is us running into each other, bumping heads, and we laugh that off, or we scare the crap out of each other because we think we hit a guest, and then we look up and it's another zombie just holding his head. We're like, okay, never mind, guys.
We're just running, and then we're trying to, we're doing our thing, and then you just you bumped into someone, and just you get that reaction, oh wait,
oh my God,
is that
I'm
a guess?
sorry.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, and then we see that's one of them. We're just get out of here, you're in my space.
What was your first expression once you put on the suit?
Oh God, my first reaction, especially with me personally, it was just oh my God.
Yeah.
It was just really, but it was a good fucking oh my God, that's me. Because me personally, because I've never put on something that was that hideous before. And so just to look at yourself and in the mirror especially, you're just wow. So you kind of get an understanding when people see you, they all have that same expression wait, is that? I got that reaction when I saw myself. I'm just oh. Even when I saw all the other guys, I'm just oh, you're disgusting.
The sound effects that you guys do, when you come up to someone and you growl or something like that, are you trained to do that, or is that just what you guys come up with?
It's personal preference.
It's personal.
Sometimes we're instructed not to do it.
Ooh,
But we
okay.
do it anyway because it works better, it has a better scare. So yeah, it's pretty much, if you can make a sound that's unusual and disturbing, do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really adds to the scare.
Yeah.
Anything from a little anything like that, it gets the job done. And trust me, it gives people the little jibbies like that. Because you can easily go up to anyone and just go, hey, boo.
Right.
But that's those little sounds that people find unusual. That's what gets people. People are what are you? Get away from me. And we want that reaction out of people.
Right.
So the stranger the noise, the better the reaction.
Awesome.
That's all that we think.
So
about.
so what about in the scare zone? Who would you guys usually target? What's your preference out there?
we have our different categories of different people that we scare. There are the obvious ones. We call them the easy targets, and those are like, okay, for all you people listening at home, if you are the type to hide behind your boyfriend or to shield yourselves, we are coming after you with full force. You guys are the fun ones to scare. So just a little word of advice, if you're not one that likes being scared, just don't do that. But there's also, you want to talk about the harder ones, the challenges?
Ooh. Sure. Often we see guys walking through that are trying to act all tough. You know, they're walking through with their chest puffed out. And they're probably doing this because they don't want to be scared. They're like preparing for us to try something and they don't want us to. So they're giving off that, you know, nonverbal communication of don't do this. But that just makes us do it anyway. So like,
because we see like those big guys that are trying to impress their little dates. That's a challenge, especially the ones that are kind of have that serious face, like that poker face. They're just looking straight ahead. It's like, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. So it's either, honestly, if you're squeamish and you're scared, we're gonna go after you. It's a fun scare. We want to see you cry. Sounds messed up, but that's just the truth. Also, like the bigger dudes, those are more of a challenge. So kind of test, you know, our scaring abilities. If we're able to get a big old dude to cry for his mama, we're that good. That's a high five right there. So yeah, those are just like the two top, you know, people that we look for in the tunnel.
There's something I've always wondered. What's the, like, your guys' thought process before the event? Like, what do you guys do to, like, motivate yourself? And then what's your first thought after the event? Like, is it like, I need to get something to eat, or I need water, or something like that?
You go first. You tell yours.
before the event, you're obviously just trying to get in the zone. You know, you listen to whatever crazy music you can find. You just kind of like sit there and you're just like, you just turn yourself into some kind of monster. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's mostly just hyping yourself up beforehand. You want to get some sort of nutrition, otherwise you're going to be cramping or you're going to just be worn out completely before the night's over, and that's a terrible place to be. And then after the event, I feel like after the event, we're tired, obviously. We want something to eat, we're thirsty, but we just want it to be back again. We want it to be the next day already, so yeah. It's a lot of just wishing it was back.
I say before, I have to agree with you. You know, you try your best just to get in that zone of like, I'm about to go berserk right now and just scare all these people. So you want to get in that zone. You want to get, you know, your adrenaline pumped and all that stuff. So you do whatever you do. You listen to music, preferably like that hardcore stuff. You get that nutrition that you need. Definitely a lot of stretching, because I learned that the hard way my first day of scare acting. You know, I didn't stretch. After when it was all said and done, oh my God, it was so bad. I was sore all over the place. So we definitely learned the hard way, you know, to make sure that you get that stretch you need. So it's just about getting in the zone. And then after Horror Nights, like he said, you're just drained. You're drained. You just want to go home and just knock out. But surprisingly enough, when you're in the atmosphere with so many other people, like your friends and stuff, you just want to do it again. That's how much fun it is. And you'd be surprised. You know, a lot of people think that after Horror Nights, you're just like, you just want to drop to the floor and all that stuff. But I felt like it was just, I just wanted to go back, honestly. Like, as tired as we were, you just want to go back because it's just that addicting.
I want to ask about, so with you guys explained before that, you know, you would build friendship with new people and stuff like that. So once you come in, is everyone friendly already, or, you know, it takes some time to get?
I feel like most of the time there is an ice that needs to be broken.
Right, okay.
It's usually pretty quiet or awkward. We got lucky in the tunnel. It kind of like day one, we were cracking jokes and like acting a fool. It's kind of hit or miss. It depends who gets casted and where, and yeah.
I feel like it just depends. I mean, obviously you're gonna get those people who are just super, super silent, you know, and you got those people that are just like flamboyant from day one, like, hey, Horror Nights. You know, we have those guys too. But when you're with like so many people scaring, and you spend that many hours scaring people and seeing all these reactions that people have, if you're a mute, if you're just absolutely just out there, regardless of who you are, we're all gonna, eventually just bond just based off of that. We had a lot of guys we had a couple guys that were really quiet when we first met them. By the end of the event, these guys were just all over the place. So I think just being in that kind of atmosphere, especially in horror nights, no matter who you are, you're eventually gonna break that silence, and you're just gonna bond with everyone there. Especially when you're spending that much time with these guys, it's really like a bonding experience, I guess you can say. So no matter who you are, you're gonna have an amazing time, and you're just gonna create a bond that's just unbreakable with everyone else. Even if you're complete opposites, it's gonna happen.
So you mentioned earlier about space, and so I wanted to ask, in the tunnels, were you each assigned a specific area of the tunnel, and what would happen if you crossed the paths with someone else?
Well, actually, we're kind of instructed to keep roaming. So like at some point, go to both sides of the tunnel by the end of your set, we call it. And that would definitely create a lot of traffic jams between zombies alone. So
I feel like that's where the rehearsal comes in handy. Because when we have rehearsals, they instruct us like, okay, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, and stuff like that. But for the most part, we were just instructed, because it is a scare zone. So when you're in the scare zone, you have to stay within those limitations. So obviously, you're not going to see the zombies like going all the way to Metro or going all the way to other locations. We're instructed to stay in that zone. As long as we're in that zone, we're okay. We're smart enough not to do anything that requires us just being all up in each other's space, stuff like that. We want to be in our own place. The tunnel's pretty big enough. It's kind of small, but it's big enough for the scare actors that are on the floor to have their own little spaces and groups. If anything along the way, we'll walk into the other one, and if we see someone else walking into us, we tend to just switch with them in a way. It's really just a roaming, just roaming around, just finding that good spot. If you find that good group of people to scare, you scare them. Sometimes you'll find maybe 2 or 3 of us on a pack of people. If it's a large amount of people, there's gonna be a bunch of us on them. But for the most part, I feel like we just naturally know just to be in our own space.
We're always told to just keep an eye out for another zombie. If one's too close to you, back up.
Because you can hear the pirate that was right behind you guys.
Oh, really?
He just went, arr. That's what the mic picked up. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So, celebrities. Let's talk celebrities. Who did you see? Who did you scare? And rank them. From most scared to least scared. Go.
I saw a few, but I didn't personally try to scare most of them just because, you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, that's them. And while you're standing there freaking out, they're gone already. So you missed your opportunity. I know I scared George Lopez.
Whoa.
I saw Ariana Grande. That was Snoop Dogg was there. I didn't scare him. Who did you get?
Seth Green was there. Megan Fox was there. I didn't get her, but another scare actor got her really good.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, because there's another scare actor that has this technique where he just flips himself on the floor and lands in an Exorcist spider walk.
Whoa.
And he saw that it was her, so he raced to the end of the tunnel, did that, and started going full on at her. So as you can imagine, she just freaked.
That's amazing.
I was just right there, just oh my God. And so, the rest of the event, he's all saying, that's right, I scared. But I saw George Lopez too. The Stranger Things kids, I think it was just 2 of them. It wasn't all of them, it was just a couple of them. It was Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so Finn Wolfhard.
it was I think it was the child actors, the guys that played the bullies.
Oh, I don't know their names.
Yeah,
Okay.
They were there. It wasn't it wasn't all of them, but it was a good amount of them.
Okay.
We also saw LeBron James went in there.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually in the park. He was using VIP access because everyone would have flocked to him.
Yeah. So they gotta be smart about that. The Kardashians were there, but as you can imagine, they did not And they didn't go through it. They didn't go through the scare
I don't
zones.
think so.
They had their own little personal. You know how the Kardashians are.
Right,
They have their
right,
own
yeah,
little
yeah.
posse, and you know, I don't want to be near these people. That's the,
Mentality, sure.
the LA Lakers went through.
Like the
Oh,
entire
yeah.
entire team.
Yeah,
The
Lonzo
entire
Ball.
team. Yeah. The funny thing is that they had the security around them, right? Like there was like a bunch of big security around them. So we're just like hey, get out of here.
That's actually what I wanted to ask. So for celebrities, I know like when we saw Snoop Dogg last year,
Right.
He had like his whole posse and like other people surrounding him. So is it challenging for like when you go up against celebrities, like if they have either somebody protecting them or just an entourage of people with them?
Well, we
like,
try our best not to get in front of like the big old dudes that are right there, because you know they know we're scare actors, but like I don't want them like their like
Their
instant
job,
reaction is just
To stop them.
like just like that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't want we're not gonna
Sure,
do that.
sure, sure.
So we try to get into the little like crevices, or if they're open, they're open.
There it is. There it is.
So Cameron Diaz was there too. She was terrified. She was terrified. Oh my gosh. She just ran. She ran through the damn tunnel. It was funny. And then I know Cameron Diaz. I'm trying to think. There's like it's on the tip of my tongue. Someone else was there. We see him all the time.
I think Vanessa Hudgens was there.
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh.
Kendrick Lamar. I don't know how I forgot that one. We went up to Kendrick Lamar and he was like, all right, dude. He was like, all right, I get it. He was like, I'm terrified. So that was really cool. Like, because he's one of my favorite rappers. So that, like, just seeing him, I was just like a deer in headlights. Like, I don't know, like, do I scare the guy? Or
Right,
what?
right. That's awesome. Okay, so let's ask.
Wait.
Oh,
What,
okay.
so what was the first year you guys went to HHN, and what got you into HHN?
I mean, that's what I was gonna ask.
Oh,
but
well, okay. I'm sorry.
You can answer that one first.
I went 2014 for my first year,
Okay.
and I went with a friend, and I just really enjoyed the whole being scared experience. You know, it's way more intense than a scary movie. It's actually in your face, and you're concerned about them hitting you, even though you know they can't hit you. And you know, it was just an atmosphere I loved being around ever since then. And right then I decided I actually want to do the scare actor position. And then I found out you got to be 18 to do that. So I had to wait 3 years to actually eventually do it, which was a long wait. Long wait.
I think my first year was 2014. The first maze was American Werewolf in London.
Oh, okay, that's
So you can see 2014. Yeah. So you can imagine, when I went to that maze, that was like the bar that was set right there. So I was just like, holy, like what? But I think what really got me into wanting to be a part of Horror Nights draws back all the way to when I was a little kid, when I was trick-or-treating on Halloween. Because I was always so fascinated and intrigued by all the different home haunts that people would put together. And it was funny because I remember being one of those kids where I had rather, have gotten a good scare than to have gotten like a Snickers bar. I was more interested in all these hideous, ugly monsters than the sweet little ladies that gave the candy out at the end of the maze. So it was always like that. And then I remember my first actual, haunted attraction was House of Horrors of Universal Studios. Rest in peace, Reverend Mist. But I remember the first time I went in that, I was with my buddies. I was like around 8 or 9. I was terrified, but I was so excited. And then I remember the moment I stepped out, I remember this exact moment. I thought to myself, like, I want to be that. I want to scare people. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Flash forward a few something years later, and then, there I am at Horror Nights, at like the big old event. So it was just surreal. But honestly, it all just draws back to when I was just little. I've always been a fan. It's just all about the passion that you have for the event. Everyone at Horror Nights started off like you guys, started off like everyone else listening at home. We were all fans. We were all just, we love speculation. We love all that stuff. And then eventually you just go for it. And sure enough, that's why, everyone at home that's watching this, if you want to become a scare actor, go for it. I don't want you thinking like, oh, this scares me, I'm gonna be so tired, too much time. If you have the time, do it. It's a surreal experience that you go through that only comes like once in a lifetime. Take advantage of it. Just go for it. All out. Trust me. You will not regret it.
Our first time and everything like that. Going to Horror Nights for the first time, like, was it hooked? Were you guys hooked like right away? Because I know, like, when Thomas went first time, he didn't even want to go through the mazes. He was like, nope. So I was like kind of fearful that he wasn't gonna like the event, and then he was like, yo, I want to go next year and stuff like that. And to be honest, I was like that too. That first year, I hated going through the mazes because I was afraid just like of everything, and I was dragged by a buddy of mine, and so going through those houses, it was like, I hate this, I hate everything. But then, you know, a month later, I was like, damn, I want to go back, but I hate it. I got the bug, you know?
Didn't you used to put like
Hey, we don't need to blast him like
No,
that.
it's okay. No, but
Yeah, well, like I said, I've always been interested in haunted attractions, and I went through House of Horrors like multiple times as a kid. But this is on a whole nother level. This is like, keep your kiddies at home. This is not for kids. And I knew that, you know, it's gonna have blood, it's gonna have gore, it's top notch, it's professional. So, as you can imagine, I was a little like I don't know, but I had my group of friends with me, and they were all telling me like, let's go, let's do this, let's get it over with. So it's just like I was like, but then I went through it. The adrenaline rush that came with it, I was hooked. I was addicted. Like you said, like Sweat said, I was just itching for more, and we just ran to the next maze and the next and the next and the next, and you know, it was all said and done from there. What about you?
Yeah, I've always been interested as well. Like, when I first started going, I was terrified to go through the mazes, as anyone would. I'm actually still terrified to go through the mazes, but I still love going through just to be terrified. Like, honestly, I'm still like, you know, doing the waffle thing when I go through the mazes. I don't want to see them, but you know.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Scare actors still get scared.
Yep.
We're usually the most scared, to be honest with you. But, yeah, just that adrenaline rush from surviving that little, you know, pump of fear into your bloodstream. I don't know what you would call that, hormones. But yeah, just overcoming that fear and going through the maze, keeping your eyes open, you know, that all is just a satisfying experience for me.
All right, top 3 mazes. What are your top 3 mazes of all time?
mazes of all time.
All time.
Let's get the scare actor's point of view.
Them hard-hitting questions by Thomas.
Yep. Top 3 mazes that you have all experienced.
Didn't plan for this one.
Take a second, because remember, this is all being recorded.
This is all being recorded.
American Werewolf in London.
As number,
Man, I don't wanna be
but not
biased,
not
that was
any
my first
order,
one.
just like those 3. No, that's fine. Always the first one is like the highest.
Clowns.
Clowns 3D music by
Clowns
Slash.
2D. That one was a really good one. And I would also have to say Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay, that's a good one. That's good. That means Scott.
Honorable mention, Krampus.
That's good. That's an honorable mention. All right.
Krampus was fantastic.
Because you started going in a very, very good year. 2014 will always be my favorite year of all time.
It
So
was very good.
Krampus, come back.
Did you? I'm gonna have to go with Krampus as number 3.
Okay. Oh, he's ranking them. Okay.
Number 2.
Think.
It hurts, man.
Think.
Man.
I'm gonna say Krampus again.
You can say Krampus 3 times if you want to say Krampus 3
That's how
times.
my top is.
Honestly, I don't think it was one of the crowd favorites, but I really like Dracula Untold.
Oh,
That was the
okay.
first maze I ever went into.
That's a first. We've never heard that before.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And then
Is that a first? But that's also one that we didn't do.
Yeah, we didn't do that one.
I thought it was really good.
I
Okay.
heard that it was all right.
Yeah. He said it was good. You've now heard that it was good.
It wasn't a crowd favorite.
Right.
That's
but
true, that's
he
true.
liked it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a scare actor favorite. That's all that matters.
He probably went on a good night.
Oh my gosh. So sorry, listeners, for that. Okay.
then
And number 1?
Number 1 is probably 2017's Insidious.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Okay.
Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. I'm just gonna go with the Purge Gauntlet.
Oh, that was a good. That was good. That was good. That was a good one. Well, you know what, gentlemen, thank you so much for letting us pick your brain and ask these questions. So anything you want to plug in, go ahead, plug it in right now. Instagram, Twitter, what y'all are up to.
Hollywood HHN.
Hollywood HHN. It's an Instagram page run by, numerous performers, us included. So if you guys, want all the goods and all the updates and stuff, go ahead and go follow that page.
Obviously not earlier than you should be getting it, but we'll give you as soon as possible.
There we go. All right.
But thank you for having us, guys.
Thank you so much. And, well, let's all sign off. My name is Thomas.
Scott.
Daymian.
And we'll see you all next week.